When is the best time for you to counterspell? Knowing when to correctly counterspell in Magic is one of the biggest challenges new players face, and it's knowing when should they use one of their counterspells, what should they use it on, should they save it, should they use it early, how do you do it, and what should you think about when you're doing it? The first thing you need to look at is what type of counterspell do you have in hand? Is it going to counterspell and give them a creature? Is it going to counterspell and give them treasures? Is it going to counter and give them card draw? What type of counterspell is it? Is it one where you probably should use it early on because it makes it where they just have to pay 1 extra mana or 2 extra mana for a spell? Or is it just a generic 2 blue pip counterspell? Once you've thought about what counterspell you have, you need to start thinking about when you're going to use it and what you're going to use it on. You need to think about, should I use it on their commander so I can stop their commander from hitting the field because that's what their entire deck has a synergy around? Or should you use it for something like, say, a green card at doubling season because they're a token or a counter deck and you don't want them to just go crazy with it and get too many tokens or counters? The third thing to think about is what commander they're playing and learning like what the win cons of those commanders are. So me, I play Stella Lee. Generally, I'm trying to cast 3 spells, that third spell being something like Crimson Wisp or Cerulean List, and I draw my deck out. So people will want to counter that. Another thing to think about is someone plays a tutor card, mystical tutor, personal tutor, something like that. Should you counter the tutor or should you counter the card that they're going to search for? I think it depends on what deck you're playing against. Do you think they're playing a green deck and they're trying to get big creatures out and do something crazy and they're tutoring for a creature, maybe with like Nature's Rhythm? Or do you think they're tutoring for a counterspell to protect their win con? Or do you think they're tutoring to get their win con? So for me, Stellar Breach, do you think I'm going to grab a Breach? Or do you think I'm going to grab one of the Crimson Wisps or something like that? These are all questions you need to ask yourself when you're deciding when to counterspell. The good news is when someone casts a spell, priority gets passed around, so you always get a chance to answer, which is something new players you should practice, is making sure you're passing priority correctly so everyone has a chance to answer. So, and knowing that if the person before you doesn't counter it, then you get a chance to counter it, or maybe the third person will. You can still talk at the table and decide, hey, this person's casting this. Does anyone have a counterspell they want to cast? You can still politic your way into someone else casting a counterspell as well. These are generally the thoughts I think about when deciding if I'm going to counter a spell that someone plays. But when you're playing, what do you think about? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like daily Magic videos, make sure to follow me here on TikTok, as well as like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. I'm trying to grow some following on there. But if we hit 1,000 followers, I think I'm gonna do a giveaway soon.